If I were teaching maths from scratch today, knowing everything I know after more than 15 years of teaching, these are the tools I would use to build strong maths foundations, not to push children ahead faster, but to help them understand maths more deeply. My children and the children I teach are confident in maths, often working well beyond expectations, not because we do more maths, but because we do maths differently. In this video, I'm going to share the tools we use regularly, tools that save time teaching, reduce frustration, and help children keep a love of maths. And I'll say to the end, because the most important tool isn't something you can buy. One of the biggest reasons children struggle with maths is that it's taught too abstract, too early. Children are often asked to understand symbols and methods before they've built real number sense. And one thing that often surprises people is that I do not use maths apps at all when teaching children. Not because technology is bad, but because when children are learning maths, they need to feel it, they need to see it, and they need to live it. So we can explore that more in another video, but for now we'll stick to the tools. Okay, the first tool is the old school abacus. This is one I return to time and time again. It helps children see numbers in quantities, not just symbols on pages. So we've got addition, subtraction, number patterns, even multiplication, all becomes logical. This is where strong number sense begins. The next tool is the analog clock. Time is one of the hardest concepts for children. When time only exists on screens, it stays abstract. A physical clock allows children to move their hands, watch time pass, and understand duration, not just read numbers. Now, I'll often talk to the children about cutting the clock in half to represent half past, or in quarters to represent quarters. And number 3, be fraction cups and weighing scales. They're tools we use constantly, especially in the kitchen. Cooking is one of the most powerful ways to teach maths. We've got fractions, weights, measurements, ratios. It all becomes more meaningful when children experience them in real life. Number 4, wooden number squares. It helps children see patterns. Multiplication will stop being something to memorise and it becomes something children can predict and understand. When children notice patterns themselves, their confidence grows more naturally. Number 5, I know this is really obvious, but things like rulers and meter sticks, they're essential, not just for working measurements, but for decimals. They're quite challenging for children. So if you show them what 0.5 is on a meter stick or a ruler, then they have a much better understanding as to what decimals actually are. Children stop guessing and they start understanding. Number 6, timers. They are one of the most used tools. The kids absolutely love timer. We use it for cooking, races, games, challenges. Time becomes playful rather than pressured with a timer. Number 7, dice. I've got loads of dice around the house, but I don't know where they are. The kids have taken them, but they are simple and powerful. Through games, children practice addition, subtraction, and probability without fear. So play removes pressure and learning flows more easily. Number 8, cards. They are another favourite in the home. Not just Uno cards, but traditional cards. They turn everything into a game, from number bonds to sequencing, patterns, early probability. Children practice maths without even realising that they're practicing. Number 9, water is such a wonderful maths tool. Children are so drawn to it. You've got weight, volume and comparison, all explored through play. I even used water this morning to explain to my 11 plus student what 250 millilitres of water looked like. And it's so much more appealing for children to actually physically touch it and see it. And the most important tool of all, drumroll please, maths in real life. In the kitchen, cooking, measuring, timing, outdoors, measuring sticks, angles, distances, in the car, speed, time, travel, at the shops, paying, budgeting, change, at home, measuring frames, filling containers, estimating. When children live maths, it stops feeling like a subject and it becomes part of everyday life. One question that I'm often asked is, but how do you keep this going and still cover everything? Well, we don't rely solely on maths living in isolation. For structure, we do use the good and the beautiful curriculum. It covers the core areas, it's colourful, it comes with physical objects, and my boys genuinely really enjoy it. They love it. We only use it around 3 or 4 times a week, but their understanding is still really strong because maths isn't only happening when we sit down and go through our curriculum. The programme gives us structure, but life gives us depth. And there's one more thing I really want to say because it has a bigger impact than any tool. Please be careful what you say about maths around your children. When we say, oh, I was really bad at maths or I never got maths, and children hear us and they believe that they won't either. If you say these things about maths, then they learn that maths is something you either have or you don't. Children don't just learn maths skills from us, they learn beliefs. And this links directly to the champion mindset we talked about recently. I'll link it there. Confidence, resilience, and belief in ability are built quietly through language and experience. Strong maths foundations aren't built through apps or worksheets, they're built through experiences, language, play, and belief. And when children feel capable, maths becomes something they can grow into, not something to fear. And when maths is lived, not rushed, it becomes part of who they are. That's how we keep it going. And that's how strong foundations are built.